Susul. Welcome to Under the Plum Bob, the podcast about all things related to the EA Maxis series of games called The Sims. We avoid the real world by talking about our made-up ones. I'm Melissa, and I am one of your hosts for the day.
My name is Melissa, and I'm the other Melissa who is hosting you today.
You're Melissa, and I'm Roxy.
Yeah, we're starting a girl band. I already told you. Didn't you get my email?
The Melissas?
Roxy and the Melissas. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, this episode, we're going to be talking about the Parenthood Game Pack for The Sims 4 and touch a little bit on the Toddlers and Kids Stuff Pack.
If we have them. I actually don't have the Kids Stuff Pack. I don't know if you guys do.
I actually have to check.
I have the Toddler Stuff Pack, which I got as a present for myself when I started recording YouTube videos. And then I stopped recording YouTube videos. So there you go that's how well motivated I am. But the reason we're doing this episode real quick is because it's almost Christmas time. This episode will be coming out right before Christmas. So we're wondering what's on your Winterfest list.
I fa-la-la-la love it. I'm not sorry.
We're recording it exactly a month before Christmas. I spent the entire day dealing with my 8-year-old who wanted to go Christmas shopping and wrap all the presents.
I'm already stressed out. I mean, whoever's listening to this now, it'll be far and away from the stress of holiday shopping, but I am in it right now.
No one is getting presents on my list. Nobody. I'm sorry, everyone out there, family, mom, dad, you're not getting anything from me. My love is enough.
Exactly. It's fun, though, and The Sims just makes it more fun.
Melly, I have a question. This is your fellow Melissa. Is parenthood to you a gift?
It is the opposite of the gift. Parenthood to me is the coal of Christmas. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. But here we are.
Yeah, we've all had to play test this Parenthood Game Pack, right?
Yes.
And discover the annoying complexities that it introduces to your sim life. I shouldn't say that.
No, annoying complexities, I think, is apropos. I will come from the direction of liking Sims, liking parenthood as a activity in The Sims, but fully state that I am not ready for real life humanoid children at all. I have my fur babies, and that's how it will stay for quite some time.
Funny you mentioned fur babies. I prefer having 5 dogs in my Sims game than 1 child.
There you go. That's the ratio now. 5 dogs per 1 child.
All right, so you'll join us for the upcoming pets episode.
I will be there.
Is that specifically toddlers? Because toddlers are really hard.
Did you guys see on the? It wasn't our Facebook group, but on Facebook, did you see Mira's post? Anybody?
Oh, what'd she say?
She says, and I get this. I relate. She says toddlers are hard. Has anyone found a trick to make the nanny do, I don't know, anything? This latest goof calmly chopped tuna as my toddler and dog were literally on fire. I also can no longer find family leave through the phone. The game still notifies me when I have it, and when I'm due back, I just can't take it. This is my 4th generation of a family, and it's the first one with a single parent. I don't want to move in her dumb boyfriend just for the childcare. Strongly relate.
Relatable.
I mean, and I just finished recording a glitch-related episode, so I'll repeat the fact that, look, we can't fix your issues that you're having with Sims, but we can laugh about them together. So, I don't know. I've never had a nanny that bad, though. Anybody else?
Sometimes they're my best friend, and sometimes they don't do anything. Don't get a high chair. Let's take a minute here at the top to complain about high chairs in The Sims 4. What is the deal, developers?
It would be fine if there wasn't some unnecessary trigger where parents put the child in the high chair and then just take them out. Is that a glitch that's just mine, or is that like a game mechanic that they're like, no, you immediately need to get out of this high chair?
No, I hate them. I just, no matter what I do, they don't work. You know, I've tried having watching my sim with like a hawk and canceling all their interactions with their child So I can have the child ask to be put in the high chair. And that's the only way it sort of works, but it doesn't always work.
It's a hot mess. All right.
It's like the high chair just doesn't work. It's just glitched. It's just like,
I don't love daycare either.
yeah, they always come back with a need that's really low when they're in daycare.
Go to daycare. Why don't you just starve my child?
Which is okay. Diaper changing is so much easier in The Sims, and it's just like, whoop, it's gone. And they never get diaper rash.
I'm trying to think, was it Sims 3? Was it a more realistic diaper changing experience? I completely forget.
I think it was Sims 2 that had the table, and I felt like that was more realistic.
I'll give them that. But yeah, now it's like throw the child up in the air.
Which I don't mind as far as gameplay goes. We don't want to make it too realistic. Actually, let's get into the ways they did engineer Parenthood to make it more like of a serious aspect of gameplay. I guess this all started with Sims 3 Generations, which I never had personally, but in that game pack.
I did.
Oh, you want to tell us about it real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played 3 in a while, but I did enjoy that game pack. What I like in general about the sort of family-focused Sims packs in general is a lot of what they give you is the interactions between, parent and child, brother and sister. Generations in 3 did that, and on the cover art for that game was like grandma's over here doing a grandma thing, and then a child is running around. And so I kind of remember that being just the start of me really liking the more intricate, I can't say human interaction, sim interaction, the social aspects within a family. That might all come from the fact that I cannot stand leaving my home lot and I'm kind of a hermit with my Sims. So it's like, oh, look, you can make friends with the people who you're related to.
Accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. IRL. Also true. Also true.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, so I guess there were some new interactions and features. And from what I read, Generations also kind of gave something extra to the grandparent generation. And it kind of had things for all life stages, whereas Parenthood is very focused on early childhood education, in my opinion. But you do get a new skill, which you can start learning before you even have a child. You can go on parenting forums, and then you can either get sad, mad, or I guess you could get good advice in theory, but mostly I think you just get sad or mad.
From mommy blogs?
Yeah. Or like forums. Like, you know how bridal forums are?
Yeah, oh yeah. Another thing I'm not ready for in my life. Cool.
Yeah, so when I was getting married, the knot was just beginning to be a thing. And then I think it kind of took off, and then there's other places you can have online forums now. But yeah, parenting can be like that times 100.
I don't think I've used that interaction, but I love the idea of it. It's like, yeah, there are mommy blogs and you can like feel bad about yourself for not parenting accurately. It does make me think though, my super expert parent in the current game I'm playing could probably go on and write a pretty damn good mommy blog. It's like, I've had 26 children. Listen to me.
I know, we're all still banging away at that 100 baby challenge, which no pun intended. I believe it was Vanity who wrote this note. She's like, yay, negative moodlets. I think what happened was I, too, accidentally tried out the parenting forums interaction maybe a couple times and was like, no, this is never good. I'm good without this. I think I'll learn parenting the natural way, which is actually very much like real life.
There you go. I like it.
And so with this new trait, you can get the aspiration super parent. Now, I have recently had one sim reach level 10 of parenting, and you get the reward trait of being a role model, as well as this special ability called full parent mode. But I haven't actually played since I got that. Have you experienced full parent mode yet?
I'm not even a good parent, so I don't know about super parent.
I know. It's like, this is like if you're the best parent ever, if you're really good at leveling up your parenting, you'll get a...
Quit your job, forget about your needs, focus on your children.
Exactly. Like, you can't have a job and max out the parenting skill easily, I don't think. It's not like cooking.
That's kind of like real life. You can't have a life and be a good parent all the way.
I mean, it's hard.
My current game is more quantity over quality. So I think I'm leveled up in parenting, but I didn't choose that aspiration. So maybe the next line.
Exactly. Well, the role model is what you get for the aspiration, but full parent mode is attainable as long as you have level 10. And if you to activate it, I think you have to do 3 parenting interactions in a row. And then you activate this mode where you have a +2 happy moodlet for at least 2 hours. You glitter or glisten or something. Like I said, I haven't seen this. And that it decreases your motive decay by 75%, which sounds pretty freaking awesome. So it sounds like this is what you need to deal with toddlers.
Yeah. I mean, I have the super efficient
baby care. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice as like a one-click solution to any crying infant, which IRL would be ideal, I'm sure.
It's just a difference between kids. Like some babies are like really easy and other babies are not.
I was not an easy child in real life. I continue to be a difficult child in adulthood, but my mother constantly refers to the fact that I came out screaming and didn't stop for the first 3 years of my life. I had colic, so it's not my fault, Mom. Thank you. But yeah, she often wishes upon me a child as difficult as I was growing up.
You can just show her and not have any kids.
That's the plan so far. So what I do like about the Sims 4 Parenthood Pack, it introduces a lot more that Sim children can do. I mean, I used to play very much like one Sim. I would stay away from kind of kids because like you would just kind of have them and then they had very limited interactions and social, I guess, abilities. But with the character value behaviors and the behaviors that affect character value, I find that there's a lot more that you can do as a Sim child.
Yeah, there's a lot more. It's like I said, it made it all much more complicated.
I mean, it did, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it. So, I mean, I'm in my 100 baby challenge. I've got 6 kids at any given moment, and I'm constantly getting those pop-ups that affect the child's characters or value system or whatever. And I used to just play like kind of how I guess I would parent, based on my own instincts. Now I'm just kind of doing like whatever I feel like clicking on and seeing where the chips fall. Because part of the 100 baby challenges, if you have the Parenthood Pack, if you want your teens to age up into adults and then move out so you can have more room for your babies in this monstrosity of a challenge, is they need to have a trait within the range to have it when they age up. And so it's like a little field, and if you're in the green, then you will get that trait when they age up. So now that I'm doing it a little bit more randomly, I have to pay more attention to that because I guess I tend to raise responsible, well-mannered, and compassionate children. But it could be fun to do the opposite. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's very tricky. I've heard some people say that they can't seem to raise their kids with any of the permanent traits. Okay, so stepping back, when you have your sim, you click on the Simology panel. Parenthood gave you this new menu for children, and it shows up for children and teens, and it's got a bunch of little wheels, and one's the responsibility wheel, and one's the emotional control wheel, and then there's empathy, manners, and conflict resolution. And there's a little bit of text to explain how you manage these traits and how you could make them positive or negative. But in general, it's mostly random chance whether you can raise these things. Some are easier to raise than others, so when it all comes down to it, when your child ages from a teenager to a young adult, if they're in the top of the red range or the top of the green range, they get a positive or negative trait. And if they're somewhere in the middle, they don't get an extra trait.
I didn't realize, I guess, that your range for getting those responsibility ranges, the character value traits could be affected by existing traits. So manners can be higher if your sim has the neat trait, and negatively if they have the slob trait. So I didn't really, understand that factored in. I think that's really interesting. It's a combination, it looks like, of that and the social interactions that your child carries out.
Yeah, I think it means that the traits will affect their tendency to do the traits that raise or lower those wheels. So like a neat sim is going to be more likely to go around and like clean up the dishes, which is going to raise their manners.
Right. And that all makes sense. I think also this was put in place as sort of an answer to the call from fans in asking for more traits and more sort of traits that are a result of in-game activity. So you create a new sim, you pick your traits and go on your way. And there's, I guess, some personal growth and development you can have starting as an adult sim. But I think it makes a lot of sense that you can kind of grow and get additional traits as a child and growing into an adult. Because, I'll give that # points for realism, because I think that's sort of how it works in real life.
I remember with The Sims 3, they just kind of, you chose what they did like twice, and then after that, that's really it. So good job, EA.
Yeah, I think this one is good too because they have those pop-ups that usually it comes up and the parent has to like provide the answer, and that will affect some of the ranges too. It might be that I'm playing a heavily parenthood related game right now, but I feel like I've seen them all at this point. I've just seen all of the like choosable options, and that's why now I'm just like, do whatever you want. and I feel bad saying, God, I wish there was a more varied selection, but it could be just that I've cycled through all of them so many times. But maybe in a future patch or something, there could be more social options.
I have a love-hate relationship, mostly a hate relationship with the pop-ups, because when I'm playing The Sims, I don't really want to have to stop and read and make a decision about something. So I find them to be really intrusive, especially in games where I'm not playing and focusing on raising children. And I just am like, go away, I don't care.
Yeah. In games where I'm not, it is annoying. But I think with my current challenge I'm playing, I've learned to appreciate it a little bit because it's like, okay, your actions have consequences. And over time, if you do enough things like in the same realm, then it'll go this way or that way. I do, like I said, when I was paying more attention to it, I would pick, based on what the statement was rather than the like, this affects this trait. And so sometimes like how I would describe like I would say something is more of a manners thing than a responsibility thing, and then it affects responsibility instead of the manners, and I would just kind of go with that, and however it ended up shaking out for the child in question.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Can you give the kids up for adoption?
What a great on-brand question, Melanie. I think so, right?
No, like, what if I have a kid and he just, like, turns up to be just a little shit and you don't want to deal with it? Is there an age limit to this? Because I don't want to raise an sim murderer. I don't want that on my conscience.
So what you would do, you'd have to do it with a baby, toddler, or child and leave them somewhere where their needs are going to get so low that they get taken away. Teenagers you're stuck with because they can die.
So kill the teen?
I'm just saying they won't take the teens away. But if they take them away, that's the closest you can get to giving them up for adoption.
So there's not because you can call and give up your pets, right?
I can give up my well-mannered dogs, but I can't give away this bad child. Is what you're telling me.
Roxy is not allowed to blush at all right now because you are the one who went through the serial killer sim challenge. Am I right?
Oh, I didn't do as well as Rebecca, though.
That's true.
She actually got everyone. I was literally up the night before Get Famous came out because I was like, I want to use this household in my Get Famous Let's Play, but I have to finish killing off the people in Windenburg first.
But don't you dare put your children up for adoption. That's just cruel. Right, Roxy? Come on.
No, it's just hilarious.
Murder, okay. Adoption, not okay. Got it.
Not okay.
You can set a curfew. If they break curfew, could they get arrested and sent away?
I wonder.
It's the government's problem now.
That's actually a really good question because if you have the Get to Work expansion pack, you can have a career as a police officer. And when you go to work at the police station, there are people who are dressed in orange jumpsuits in the little jail cells. And I've always kind of wondered where they come from. Because really, when you break the law, there are no laws to break really in The Sims. You can steal stuff from people with little to no consequences. I guess if you're a rebel teen and you're out past curfew, I've never had that happen.
How cute would that be? You go to like your jail job and you see your child in a lineup.
Timmy, not again.
Oh my gosh. Do you have to use the, there's a family whiteboard. Do you have to use that to set the curfew? That's the only way I found to do it.
That's the way that I know of. I hadn't been using that item until my 100 baby sim had a whim and wanted to get one. So sure, I guess. I haven't done much with it.
It's actually pretty cool because you can raise your social by leaving notes. That's the only thing I knew how to do with it. I set a curfew, but so far I haven't tried to break it, so I don't know what happens.
I mean, look, she's got 7 kids. They can be out whenever they want. I'm not watching all of them at once. Do what you want. Have you had luck or success with sack lunches?
I did once, and one of my saves, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I packed them a lunch and it was gone when they came home. And then I kept forgetting what day of the week was. So I would make a lunch on Saturday and it'd be like, God damn, they don't have school today.
See, like, I was very all about the meal planning, as I am not in real life. Again, very different. And I made a bunch one save, sent them out to school with their little bag lunches that I thought were just darling. And they come home and they did not eat it.
And they go bad really fast.
They spoil. Like, eat your damn lunch, kid. Now I'm all riled up.
I've never tried grounding them. I've done the timeout, which I discovered by accident in another game I was playing. I was like, oh, cool, timeout.
Yeah, I actually have not. What goes into all that?
So it's just like if they make a mess on the ground, instead of just lecturing them about it, you can, if you have a high enough parenting skill, you can tell them that they have a timeout and they actually go sit down and they have a little clock over their head. And I was like, this is so not realistic. You can see it if you watch my, I think my last video in my Alpha Legacy series. I had Summer Holiday give her kid a timeout and I was all excited, but I haven't updated that series in a while. But I can still put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to have to try that for my 1 million children.
But kids don't do that in real life. Like in real life, you say, go sit down, you have a timeout. And they just like fight back and run away and don't sit down.
Unless you were born in a Hispanic household.
Ooh, here we go, dish.
Well, I was a very bad child. You could ask my dad, and I would always get in trouble. Our timeouts would consist of us being put in the hallway facing the wall with our hands up. If I put my hands down, he would add more time. There was once where I was there for like maybe an hour, and I'm like, Dad, my dad left. He forgot about me.
Oh no!
Yeah. I cried. He came home. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were in timeout. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But like after that, I just didn't do anything bad anymore. I learned my lesson that time.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he did it on purpose.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I just think he forgot. He genuinely forgot about me.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's better, if that was like a conscious parenting decision, like she'll learn now if she's up there for an hour, or if he was like, whoops, there's my kid on the wall.
Well, I have 2 other siblings, and they weren't the best kids either, so I'm pretty sure he had his hands full.
Poor baby Melly.
How did you react when you met your new siblings? Are you an older?
I'm the oldest. I like my siblings. My second sister, when my mom was pregnant with the third one, we're all girls. The last one was supposed to be a boy, and we were all excited about it. She even went on live television. The reporter asked her if she was going to love her new baby brother, and she said, yes, I love him. The baby's born. It's a girl. She's not having it. She tells my mom, return it. Leave it in the hospital. I don't want it in my house. And every time that conversation comes up, we bring up the reporter thing that's telling her that she's going to love her baby sibling. And here she is.
She's like, excuse me, I was told this was a brother. I reported that I would love a brother. Okay? Did not agree to this. I really like in The Sims that there's like a little negative moodlet. So you can have a child and a toddler, I think, approach an infant bassinet, and they have like a just met new sibling. And every time I've seen it, it has been negative. Like, oh, great.
Sometimes they're sad.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't want this. So like your sister being like, I wanted a brother, not another sister. Very #realness.
Oh, yeah. That's a cute little one. Let's see, what else can you do with these new kids? They get school projects. I think there were some in the base game, but they gave you more with Parenthood. It's funny because you don't have to do them well. If you just do them at all, you pretty much get credit. So I started having them. I have all my 100 Babies Sims do their projects sloppily.
Really? I guess that's why mine take forever, because I do the carefully version and they take forever.
It just doesn't seem to matter. They still get credit. Their grade goes up.
Forget this. Forget this.
Melissa's so mad now.
A little bit, yeah. What the heck? Oh my god. Yeah, and why do they sell for like $80?
No, the project sell. Once you make it, it's 80, but before you make it, it's like 100.
Why?
They're worth more before you make them. I guess that makes sense.
But you get them for free from school, and your child completes a freaking volcano, and you can sell it for $80? What is that? That's minus realism points.
Well, maybe kids are buying projects off of other kids that didn't want to do them.
I did have that thought, actually. But $80, like, what kid has $80 to spend? Hey, can I have your finished project? Yeah, man. I'll give you $80 for it.
yeah, you can also get a variety of journals with different covers on them, and they can be angsty. And you can, anybody can use them. Adults can use them too, which is pretty cool.
I like these. When I discovered them, I was like, oh, it's got a little lock and key, and you get to be angsty. I like that one.
They have like the 3 basic ones that are just like a cover with a lock on it. And then if you go into the build mode, there's a bunch of cool different patterns. Have you ever used the doctor set?
The baby teddy bear.
There's like a bear one and a kid one. It's really the only doll that they have.
The teddy bear one is cute. The baby one is creepy. I don't like it.
You have doll issues.
I don't like it.
Doll issues.
Listen, I mean, it's got a big head, and I don't like it. That's my statement. I don't like it. The toddlers already have a big, stupid head. Don't give me a baby doll of that, too.
Ooh, okay. Well, I think it raises your empathy, and I'm like, I need to play with this more, because the only traits I've seemed to be able to get are like the good manners or the responsibility. So like, I've gotten those 2 in the positive range before, but I've never gotten the other ones. Do you like setting the table?
No.
But do you like it when your Sims set the table?
No. All no. First of all, here, I'll rant. I'm riled now. Why? There are plates that magically appear when you get a serving of food. You have it on a plate already. Why do you need to bring it over to another plate on the table? Fancy napkins, utensils, sure. But why? Why? It's a waste of time. And they don't go away after the meal. So you set the whole table and then they don't go away. Why? Why is one place setting still here? This is annoying.
Because it didn't get used. You just need a smaller table.
Not with my 17 children, I don't.
It's so awkward if they get into the habit of doing it, though, because then they grow up and they just keep doing it all the time.
Yeah, that comes from the manners trait I've figured out, and it's really freaking annoying to be so nice and mannered. Ugh. Enough. Put those away.
Meanwhile, everybody makes their bed automatically, so you never get to make the bed.
Yeah, that was something in 3, right?
Yeah.
3, you could make the bed. And now beds just don't have that function, right?
They just magically go back to being perfect.
I wish I had that in real life.
I kind of do. Like, I just don't get that perfect. I don't become a perfectionist with it, but it doesn't happen that fast.
I don't make my adult bed, so my manners trait is very low.
I do it on Saturdays only because I wake up like at 2 and I'm like, okay, my boyfriend's gonna come home. Let me at least pretend that I did something. So I do the bed.
But do you set the table?
Oh no.
It would be like almost comical for me to make the bed where the rest of the apartment is like on fire around me. Just like complete mess. And like, oh, I made the bed, babe. You'd be like, that's great. Good for you.
What about the burning pile over there?
Fine. Just look at the clean bed. It's totally fine.
So, have you experienced any of the weird phases that the kids and teens can go through with the Parenthood Pack?
Melly, I think I've become you now. Talking about it, I'm just annoyed by everything. When I play it, I guess it's fine. But now I'm just like, oh yeah, that annoying thing that happened.
Now you know how I feel.
All right. Can we talk about these phases?
What's your least favorite?
Anything that has to do with wearing a particular outfit. Why are you a bear?
It's a bear.
Why
I'm a bear.
Are you a bear?
I'm a bear.
No, I'm going to ask it again, son. Why are you a bear? Also, why only boys?
It's not only bears. I mean, not only bears. Oh, God. Oh, why not hamsters? Because they have a hamster costume, too. But that's only if you get the first pet. But anyway, yeah. I've had it happen to my girls, too.
There was an aspect in Sims 3 where there was like a costume-related phase with children, I think.
No, I think you're right. They had like a princess costume and stuff. They had a costume box.
Yeah, so like that would have been cool to introduce in 4, but...
No, we only get to be a bear. And you can't even always get back into your bear costume, which drives me crazy. Because I'm like, fine, be a bear. But then like sometimes you just lose the action to change into a bear. And you have to go into Create a Sim and put them in a bear suit so they can be a freaking bear. Am I the one who gets that glitch?
Well, no, I get that glitch. I'm not that committed. It's like, you can be sad. You look stupid. I wouldn't do that with a real life child. I'd be like, of course, if you can be a bear, go put the bear costume on yourself. I'm not going to put it on you, but no, it's too much work.
You can actually have a conversation with them about being a bear. I discovered that. I was like, oh, there's like a whole bunch of parenting interactions about being a bear. I guess when they're in these phases, you get special interactions via the parenting menu to talk about the phase they're in. So that's interesting, I guess. I didn't realize until recently because I really tried to play a lot with Parenthood this week. So the phases are picky eater, rebellious, mean streak, loud, clingy, I'm a bear, and distant.
The loud one is a pain in the neck because all of your music playing devices will be cranked up to 11. Oh, that's so annoying. I don't even play with sound on, and that's annoying.
They do. They made it very visually annoying for those of us who play without sound.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you go for extra realness points. There's a streak that I'm trying to think. Oh, sorry. This might be off topic, but I'm trying to find a way to make it on topic. It's a moodlet that teens can get that's time to wear black.
Those are mood swings. That's one of the mood swings.
Okay, that's in the mood swing, so we can wait.
No, we can talk about it now for sure.
Well, I'm not sure if it can be helped by actually wearing black.
Oh, I don't know. I never thought about wearing black to see if that would help.
Did we all not go through that emo phase where wearing black was like the thing?
My bangs are in my face.
I'm literally wearing blue jeans and a black t-shirt today.
No. I mean, everybody went through it. It's just that not everybody left it, which is completely fine.
Hi. Over here in the corner.
Scene was very big when I went to middle school and high school, and it was like emo, but with like a pop of color.
What's it called?
Scene.
Oh my God, I'm so old. I didn't know what that was.
It's like that like highlighter pink streak within black hair and like the raccoon tails.
I wish I still had pictures. I deleted all of them, but I was a scene kid. It was embarrassing. Like, I look back at them and I'm like, no, who told me this was okay? Who lied to me?
I bet it was so cute.
No, it was bad.
I don't know. I feel like the mood swings are fine. They're definitely realness points. But as far as like taking control of the teen sim and having them like act on whatever mood they're having in order to like feed into it, I think you can resolve some feelings by like destroying the school projects. You can hit the toy bear. I don't know if that's my like conservative Catholic upbringing, but press those feelings down and move on with your life. Maybe like talk it out, write in the journal, but stop it. Stop. You gotta act right. You gotta act right. And I will restate the fact that I am not having children anytime soon. So
nothing makes me madder when somebody destroys one of the school projects. I'm like, even if I worked sloppy on it, I just finished that.
They take time on it, homie. Like,
not okay.
Not okay.
But some of the phases like don't really affect things. Like the picky eater, I've never noticed anything. Rebellious, I've never noticed anything. Actually, I think I've seen them swear, but not very. And the mean streak doesn't really seem to do a lot. I mean, I guess some of it is you have to get in there and play it, but some of them are just more obvious, like you said, loud and I'm a bear. The other ones, I just haven't noticed as much really affecting gameplay.
It could be something that people play with that are like, this is great. This really enhances the story. I don't know. I think I've just played through enough that I'm over them at this point, which I hate to say because I don't want to be jaded about it. But
okay, let's get down to, we kind of like done the overview, but we haven't given a lot of opinions. Well, some of us have given a lot of opinions, but what do you think would have made this pack better?
That's tough. That's tough to say. I mean, I'm at the point where I think more variety would be appreciated, or I don't know, are we at the point with Sims where they can just put out stuff packs to have more social interactions added? Maybe that's where I need to start using script mods.
I feel like the interactions, you do get a lot of good new interactions with this because, you get the whole parenting menu, you get I haven't been able to explore fully the traits, but I know if you have the good manners, you get to do a polite introduction, which gets you ahead socially when you meet people. And that's kind of cool. Like, I'm pretty happy with the interaction side of it, but it's the create a sim. We got some new traits that you can earn, but we didn't get new traits to the menu of traits at creation, and we didn't get new aspirations. And I feel like child aspirations especially are lacking because you can only be 4 different types of child, and there are far more than 4 different types of children.
As you know, there are 4 types of child: brave, smart, evil, and miscellaneous. And that's a Harry Potter joke. Pretty much carrying over into The Sims, right? You've got your monkey bars child.
Gryffindor.
Clearly Gryffindors. You've got your brains, Ravenclaw. And now I can't. WizKid. Well, there's mental.
And there's the artistic one.
That could probably be Hufflepuff.
The creative genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hufflepuff, and then there's the social butterfly.
Slytherins.
I don't know. It's not a perfect analogy. Give it up, Melissa. No, I'm kidding.
There are, though, 4 types of children, however you slice it.
But yeah, that's my biggest beef, is because I kind of dread them becoming children because there's just those 4 things to do. And while it is challenging to complete their childhood aspiration, it's kind of repetitive.
I also feel that there are things existing in the base game world that children don't do and could do. You know, like there's activities that there's really no reason why they shouldn't, even if it's from like a developmental standpoint, like have them do it and it can be a negative effect. Like kids can play with stoves. There's a statement that standing alone is not great, but they're okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, let's address that.
Maybe let's give them an easy bake oven, but not a real oven.
Well, there used to be in 3, there was that kid oven playset. So I miss that big time. I don't know why they can't paint. Like, I know they have the drawing table, which I discovered only recently. And I think that's it from Parenthood Pack, but I'm not sure entirely.
I think there's one in the base game, but yeah, they seem to add a new frickin' activity table to every single expansion pack they do. And I'm ranting now, but oh my God, do we need another frickin' iteration on the activity table? For God's sake, give us something new. Let the kids go into cooking. That's what really bugs me. Every time I'm playing a sim that wants to grow up to be a chef, I have to put them in the creativity or the social butterfly, and it just doesn't feel like the right fit. Like, I want them to be able to cook.
And it could be that it's a game development thing that I don't know. I always say I don't know too much about it, but maybe the reason they put in those tables and like various kid versions of those skills is that for whatever reason, maybe it's like an animation thing that they can't interact with the existing items like a stove or like, I don't know, other stuff adults do. Melly, what do you think?
I think this is more of I don't like this of EA in general. Why do we have to keep paying for every single little new thing that we need in the world? Like, why can't you just give me more stuff for my children to do without paying another $60?
I mean, that's a whole nother episode, but I agree.
It is, but if you want me to play with the kids, don't make it expensive for me to play with the kids, you know?
It's already a hard enough sell.
Exactly.
Melly, we were talking before the episode started about how you're primarily a builder. Is there anything that you build? I know you don't play with kids, but if you had to build a kid-friendly house, is there anything that you do in your building that has kids in mind?
I learned from Reddit, and I shared this on our group chat, but someone actually made a child pen out of gates, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't think of that first.
First of all, I think they're called playpens. A child pen sounds like something a lot worse.
Well, yeah, there's that.
But yeah, I saw that too. I loved that idea.
The kids' room decor are like kind of cute in my opinion. I use them in my everyday. No complaints in the build department. Bunk beds. Why don't we have bunk beds?
Yes.
I've seen a lot of builds that have stuff that looks like bunk beds, but I don't think they're functional.
They've got to be mods, right?
Right. Or they've cheated it. Yeah, I know. A functional bunk bed or a loft bed.
They had them in 3. I loved that function in 3. And I feel like for a 100 baby challenger like myself, space is important. Bunk beds would be hugely valuable. So I don't know why they don't have them.
And slides for kids, not just toddlers.
I go on slides.
Yeah. Yes, please. All the slides.
And slides for the pool would be nice.
I miss those.
Yeah, I have the toddler pack. So the best thing that comes in that pack, in my opinion, besides the really cute Create-A-Sim stuff for toddlers, is the playground equipment for the toddlers. So there's a ball pit and a slide and like a jungle gym thing. It comes like in 3 separate pieces, and then they have a big rig that's got all 3 pieces attached to each other. And it's very fun.
Yeah, I like those.
And I'm glad they added swings with seasons, but it's like, we're still missing a slide, in my opinion.
I remember in The Sims 3, there was an interaction where your children and I think maybe just toddlers, we little Sims used to be able to play inside the toy box. I mean, in this version, you have toy boxes and you can put your stuff in there and everything. But there was a function where the toddler could go in the toy box and like play around and stuff. I really missed that interaction. I thought that was always adorable.
And the giant doll houses.
Yeah.
Those are fun too.
They do have several of those, which is nice. They do have the option to play in cabinets and bookshelves and plants.
But see, that just annoys me because I feel like that's misbehaving.
But it's so cute. That's the closest I can get to cooking, is because when they're in the cabinets, they pull out pots and pans. And there are some mods that I saw back when I was watching some YouTube videos that were overviewing like the best mods. They had some really cool things where you could have your Sims have their first love. So like children could have crushes and stuff like that. And then they had just new aspirations for the kids, and I think traits, but aspirations especially. Like, I really think the game needs more child aspirations. So it's nice that there are some mods out there. So if I ever get into modding, maybe we'll do a child mod review, since we haven't done any mod reviews for this Team Llama because I don't play modded.
We're bad at them. And if you, the listener, have good childhood mods, if you play with Sims that have children and enjoy it and are not melly, please leave us a comment, at us on Twitter, let us know what your favorites are, and we will take a look at them. I personally, for my own gameplay, but we can also talk about them in a future episode.
Maybe you'll change my mind and I'll start liking it.
Yeah, maybe we'll convert Melly. What mod would that be? What mod would that have to be? Like muzzles on the children?
That's too dark for me.
That's too dark. Just children that are self-sufficient.
Basically, do your own stuff. Leave me alone.
Oh, wait, there's a mod where your kids can walk the dog, because they should be able to walk the dog.
That's a nice one.
My kids still can't get the mail.
Oh my god.
I know. I talked about that in a Social Bunny episode very recently. It was said on the Maxis Monthly that kids would be able to get the mail because of the Get Famous function where child stars can get fan mail. My kids can't get to the mailbox. I mean, I don't have Get Famous, but I think they mentioned it would be a product of the patch, which, again, it's like these items that are already in the game. Why can't children interact with them? And it's been a real pain in the neck. Well, wasn't there another mailbox-related news item that we had?
It wasn't a news item, but I just threw this in here because when I have random questions throughout the week, sometimes I'm like, I wonder if anybody else has this question. So I kept getting the error that the mailman couldn't reach the mailbox. And I was like, stop telling me that. You're fine. The mailbox is like level with the ground. There's nothing in the way. So from what I understood from Googling it and looking at Reddit was that your mailbox has to be touching that like outer perimeter of your lot, or the mailman complains that they had to take 2 extra steps.
The mailman needs to get a life.
Yeah, so I moved my mailbox, and the error still pops up occasionally, but not every time. Because, okay, here's the other thing. This is going to be a sidebar, but my sim started taking the Celebrew serum from Get Famous, and that thing is like a drug. So the Celebrew serum, they'll mail you a potion almost like it's supposed to come every day. And it has a certain trait, like it'll be a fun potion or a flirty potion or an inspired potion. And it gives you a high moodlet, and it temporarily boosts your ability to raise your skills while you've taken it. But then it wears off and you crash. So it's very much like taking drugs.
Who needs mods?
Yeah, and it was like, oh my gosh, I did not know this was in the game. But yeah, so that's the thing I needed. I had a lot of mail coming in because of that.
Well, I think whenever that happens to me, the mailman, just for any mail, is like, I couldn't reach it, but it all ends up being in there anyway. So it's not like they must have like thrown it into the mailbox. So it's never an issue. I want to say in older games, there was like a very complainy mailman. In like 3, I want to say they would just like leave your mail on the ground. So thanks, Paul. Thanks for that.
There was one other thing about mailboxes is that if you'll notice, sometimes you go into your inventory and there's all these decorative plates. And the decorative plates came with the Parenthood pack. So you're like, what is going on with these plates? I don't know if it's a glitch or what, but if someone has a birthday or a wedding or something and you get gifts, it comes in the mail, but for some reason the decorative plates don't go into your inventory. They go into your household inventory. So that's why I looked this up too, because I was like, what is with the plates? That's why you end up with like a bunch of decorative plates in your household inventories, because they've come in as gifts.
I have a million. That's what I figured out. I hadn't used them before, like as a decorative item, but I guess they're like, I don't know. I think they're nice. I put all 17,000 of them up in my home.
Exactly.
But it's like the fathers of my 100 baby children that are like, here's a gift. That's a super child-friendly gift. A plate that can break. I mean, it can't break, but when you think logically.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I tried to reboot my Lunar Zodiac challenge, but you're only allowed to raise your female babies. and I got to the point where I had 6 male babies and only 3 female babies. And I was like, I need a break from this save. I'm getting really pissed off.
And so to get rid of the boys, you do what?
Well, and according to the rules, they're supposed to go live with the father. But instead, the idea of that challenge, which is really cool, I hope we cover it in a future episode, is the moon goddess is in love with the son of God, and they want to live together and be romantic, but she has to raise 12 perfect zodiac children to replace them so they can go off into the sunset or whatever. So I made a...
Problematic.
Yeah, it's really... So I made a sun god, and I'm sending all the boys to live with him right now.
Oh, well, that's weird.
But I don't
nice.
play him, so it's like they're just a place. I had this idea that one of the boys would get angry and then try to raise like 100 warriors to destroy the sun and the moon in my next leg of the challenge, but...
I do that with challenges. It's like I think very far ahead. And it's like, what if we just... Yeah. And they never come true, so... Does your sun god wear a lot of yellow?
Oh yeah, I loved color coding my stuff. So it's really funny. There's this one suit that came with Get Famous that's like gold with like a skinny red tie. He's wearing that. And he's a vampire because I didn't want him to age while I was busy doing other stuff. So
that might be counterproductive. A vampire that's a sun god.
Shh.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's just because they don't have any other immortal beings. I want more supernatural.
Which we'll complain about in another episode coming soon.
And we'll have to pay for it. Don't even get Melly started on when they finally release Sims 5. She's going to be so salty.
I will be too. That's like, we're not ready for it. We're not.
I spent so much on The Sims 3, and then The Sims 4 came out, and I'm like, no, I just finished my collection.
Oh.
Girl, I hear you.
You can't even play all the packs, though, with Sims 3. It's like, I have 4 expansion packs now, and a game keeps crashing. And it keeps yelling at me every time I start. They're like, you're not supposed to run it with this many packs. I'm like, there's 4.
You sold them to me.
Yeah. So I'll take The Sims 4 over Sims 3. I'm trying to love The Sims 3, but...
I'll take The Sims 2 over all of these.
Amen.
I have all of the expansions, too, so...
I like The Sims 2, but I do love the graphics on Sims 4.
Get The Sims 2 and put Sims 4's graphic, and that's The Sims 5. You're welcome.
That sounds great. Do it. All right. So we are on social media at PlumBobCast on Instagram and Twitter, PlumBob Podcast on Reddit, Under the PlumBob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr, and we have a website. You can go there. You can listen to our episodes. You can see our bonus content, and you can contact us. It's undertheplumbob.com. We're also on Twitch and YouTube and starting to provide content there. Our Twitch handle is Under the Plum Bob Podcast, and on YouTube, we're Plum Bob Podcast. And then you can please subscribe, rate, review us, listen to this podcast. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play, and more to come probably. Just tell your friends to listen wherever they subscribe to podcasts. I want to do a special thanks to Julia for research, and I know Vanity and Rebecca also contributed.
Thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I guess, you guys, it's time to go back to the real world.
Say it ain't so.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Buddies. Dag dag.
Boy, this episode has been a real bear, am I right, you guys? Insert groan. Insert groan. All right.